It is day 8, and healing is our topic on a special pathway to peace, the Michael Chekhov Way, and utilizing this inspiration of these 64 days toward nonviolence. Healing is a lifelong journey which will never be fully complete, you could say, perhaps, until maybe you actually cross over. Yeah, perhaps death is the greatest healer. I've seen a lot of people who have gotten severe illnesses and terminal illnesses, and it's been amazing how much healing happened because the illness gave them healing as a priority. It's something they were able to place as a priority. The universe is pretty amazing, and it really seeks wholeness, like we talk about in the Four Brothers of Art, in the Michael Chekhov Way, that the universe, when you're missing some piece of essential energy engagement, the universe will bring it to you from the outside and will give you the opportunity to experience it. So if I can think of the many parts of me in the same way that there are many parts on this chart of inspired action, and that my aware self is in the center, my aware healed self is in the center of that any kind of illness I'm experiencing is a vulnerability in some aspect of my being. Again, it generally is going to start in the energetic field, in the realm of spirit, before it manifests in the physical form, through the accident, through the long-term illness, through the injury, whatever it is that calls for us to be healed. Whatever the source of the wounding is, we all have wounds. In the Chekhov technique, when we are looking to understand and play a character, one of the most significant things we can do is look at what is the wound or the nightmare, the vulnerability, the deep, deep, unhealed part of the character, and what is their dream state fulfilled, what is the fully healed state look like, and to experience these polarities. And we as human beings can look at ourselves objectively as an actor might observe their character and say, you know, if the Chekhov technique teaches us to be able to transform from who I am in my everyday life into the character and transform my thinking, feeling, and willing forces and my physiological expressions into the characters, why could I not also envision a fully healed self? And why could I not use those same tools and techniques to bring healing? And when a human being is feeling healthy, the path to peace is very clear. Very often our discomfort, which leads to fear or pain, then turns to anger and rage and violence. So the healed person and the person on the path to healing is much less, or I'm going to say much more inclined to peace and nonviolence. One aspect of healing that I want to bring forth today, and I perhaps will later on in the series, is understanding that every person has wounds, vulnerabilities that need healing. How can you support yourself to heal, and how can you support another toward their healing? And one way that a lot of people feel healed is by feeling heard or seen or felt, that their pain and their wound is acknowledged. In fact, in the Iroquois League of Nations, every gathering is going to begin with a condolence ceremony. because a grieving mind cannot negotiate. This is an ancient concept that has been carried forward, and we could carry forward. For every person that you encounter who has a sense of aggression and a feeling of violence, or to every person whom you feel, or every situation that you feel or that awakens in you an impulse to violence, is an opportunity for us to step back and ask, how have they been hurt? Where are their wounds? And before I can really negotiate and move from my staunch and limited and wounded point of view, if they recognize that I'm hurt, that I have parts that need healing, and if I can recognize that you have parts in you that have been hurt, if I honor, if I see, hear, feel, and honor that you have been hurt and that you need healing, then from this point, I can open my heart and we can recognize each other as people who honor each other's wounds. And from there, a negotiation can begin. A heartfelt negotiation can begin. The brain can think much more clearly. You know, every 5 minutes you spend in that state of anxiety, frustration, and anger lowers your immune system for over 6 hours. Just 5 minutes of rummaging around in your mind with that pissy little attitude towards someone with violent thoughts lowers your immune system, not theirs, but yours, for over 6 hours. Listen into your thoughts. Understand how thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, and that aggression in thought creates an aggression in your body, which is going to cause an illness somewhere along the line, or an accident, a loss of concentration. So thoughts today: how can you support another in their healing? Healing does not always mean that one is going to get well and be dissolved of the biological consequences. But healing is always going to move you toward greater love. And that's going to bring greater peace. Listen to each other. Honor each other's wounds. Bring peace.